Greetings, this is rsmalec with a quick review of a custom adventure map for Minecraft. This is the highly anticipated adventure map from Captain Sparklez and the VoxelBox, entitled Deep Space Turtle Chase Part 1. The map includes a custom texture pack and mods that utilize custom audio. Despite my frustration in my playthrough highlights video, I deeply enjoyed the transformation of Minecraft into a sci-fi setting. This is what the custom map community needed to get public recognition, and if you enjoyed it, I hope that you check out other custom maps. As for my score, I gave it a 16 out of 20, and it breaks down like this. From a creativity perspective, I gave it a 4 out of 4, which is an outstanding score. No doubt, the theme transforms Minecraft into something else. It's full of great builds, such as the space station, the bee-bot, and the crane, and the end credits are simply amazing, not to mention clever redstone puzzles throughout. This adventure overrides the in-game maps with text and images on space-age VoxelBox readers. When held, they play custom audio dialogue. There's also location-triggered custom music throughout the map. Now this map can be played with or without those custom mods, but the mods are highly encouraged, and I give the VoxelBox guys credit for their custom installer, which takes the pain out of editing your own jar file. From a detail perspective, I also gave it a 4 out of 4. The Deep Space texture pack helps transform Minecraft into a believable alien world and sci-fi space stations. The detail is consistent and believable, although there are several areas with too many colors and textures for my liking. In close proximity, I feel that they break the flow of the scenery, and in a few spots they actually distract the player from where they're intended to look during a puzzle. But that said, they also made great use of transparent blocks in multiple places. Now from a story perspective, I gave it a 2 out of 4, which is an average score. It's a mostly linear storyline, but it does encourage exploration in a few points. It's got plenty of humor in the style of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders, and there are Easter eggs galore. The voice acting was pretty good, but it was hard for me to get invested in the main character in the questline. There's at least one escape sequence at the end that's pretty much left to random exploration. Pro tip, pay attention to what you see on every sign. They'll probably come into use later. Now there's also special effect explosions that are attributed to the primary villain, but I'll be honest, I never felt like the primary villain was an imminent threat. Now the storyline also forces you to kill yourself at least one point, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's pretty startling and it can take you out of character for a few moments. My recommendation for any map that does this is there needs to be very clear instructions on respawn to explain what just happened and what's intended. From a difficulty perspective, I went with a 3 out of 4, which is a very good score. It's played on peaceful, so there's no mobs to balance, and then there's no in-game rules, so if you didn't read the forum post, you might be a little bit confused on what you're supposed to do when you start the adventure. Now there's plenty of jumping and running puzzles, and some very clever redstone puzzles that include iterative challenges. Now from a progression point of view, I also gave it a 3 out of 4. The overall pacing is linear, as I mentioned, with a good balance of up and down time, except, and this has mostly been fixed in version 1.2, but sometimes I wandered around confused for almost an hour trying to figure out where to go next. As I mentioned, this has been mostly fixed, but some of the location naming still isn't quite obvious. At one point, you're told to go to a dig site, and all you see is a giant robot and some gun turrets. Doesn't really look much like a dig site. The other thing that bugged me a little bit was the lack of itemization. Throughout this map, there's no gear, no armor, and no scoring mechanism. I think it needs just a little something to keep the player engaged and give them a feeling of continual progress to get that 4 out of 4 score. Now I will give you credit because all of the signs are clearly in character, so there's no confusion between out of character and in character knowledge. I'd also give this map a non-existent bonus point for unflinching customer support via the minecraftforum.net, particularly by the VoxelBox guys, who have had to answer, respond to, and comfort hundreds of players who have crashes early on. I think most of it's been fixed at this point, but nevertheless these guys have not given up. So thanks guys for a great map, 16 out of 20 for your first try. I cannot wait to try the next one.